10 Worst Parents on Dr. Phil. There's a reason why Dr. Phil has often been likened to a human zoo. The people that appear on the show have some serious problems, but they're nothing compared to this motley crew. A child should always be able to rely on their parents. But what happens when they can't? Let's take a look at the 10 worst parents on Dr. Phil. Before we begin, make sure to subscribe to our channel for more amazing videos about your favorite movies and TV shows. Number 10. Plastic Fantastic. We've seen a lot of weird and disturbing stuff on the show, but Marianne and her daughter Miranda were a new level of bizarre. Miranda contacted the doc for help as her mother's obsession with her looks was too much. All of the trouble started 15 years prior when Marianne found out her husband went to a strip bar. Rather than shrugging it off and getting on with her life, she became obsessed with making herself look like a stripper. Not only that, but she raised her daughter to believe that all men want is big boobs and sex, encouraging her to get breast implants. She even installed a stripper pole in the house. According to Marianne, it doesn't matter what else a woman has going for her. It's all down to the looks. Understandably, Dr. Phil was concerned and the audience was shocked. How could you do that to your own daughter? Number 9. Sugar Mama, Sugar Daughter. If encouraging your kid to look like a stripper wasn't bad enough, what about teaching them to go after rich men? 26-year-old Riley appeared on the show as a proud sugar baby, an escort who accompanies rich men, aka sugar daddies, on dates. Most of the men are older and looking for a pretty young woman to take to events, while some are even married. Riley took to the stage alongside her mom, who taught her the craft. At peak times, the blonde bombshell charged up to $2,000 a day just to go on a date. On one date, they even took a guy out together and whipped him in their underwear. How weird is that? These two are worse than any mother-daughter combo we've ever seen. We're not actually sure who's worse here, the mom or the child. They're just as awful as each other. Number 6. Dirty Dad. When money gets a little tight, picking up some extra work isn't unheard of. But this dad went above and beyond the call of duty. Chuck had been married to his wife Amanda for 6 years. The couple had 2 children together, but it was far from a happy marriage. The pair sought the help of everyone's favorite TV doctor as they were both tired of constantly fighting. According to Amanda, her husband also frequently lied. What she didn't know was that Chuck had made a confession to the show's producers. He once worked in the adult film industry when he lived in California back in the early 2000s. Amanda was horrified, but the worst was yet to come. Chuck admitted that when they were in Cali filming for the show, he had called his contacts in the industry and asked if there were any suitable roles for him to star in. Poor Amanda couldn't pick her jaw up off the floor. Number 7. Monstrous Mama June. If you have ever watched Honey Boo Boo, then you'll probably have an idea of the kind of messed up family dynamic we're talking about. At the head of it all, you've got Mama June. June is not known for her great taste in men. In fact, she often picks criminals. In 2014, it became public knowledge that Mark McDaniels, her former husband, had been imprisoned for the sexual assault of her eldest daughter, Anna Chickadee, when she was just 8 years old. When Anna told her mother what had happened at the time, June didn't believe her. It was a teacher at school who called the police. What is more, when McDaniel was released from jail, Mama June started dating him again, even letting him sleep in the same bed as 9-year-old Alana Honey Boo Boo. When Dr. Phil tried to get to the bottom of everything in a one-on-one interview, Mama June denied any wrongdoing. Not only did she claim that she never knew about Anna's abuse until 2 years ago, but she also said reports that she was dating McDaniel again were false, despite there being quite convincing photo evidence. It's a miracle she still has kids in her care, isn't it? Oh man. Number 6. Cancer Faking Mom. On the list of terrible things you can do, faking cancer has to be right up there with kicking puppies and neglecting your kids. Jessica's mother, Patricia, lied to her family and friends, telling them that she was ill with stage 3 brain cancer. When Jessica had enough of her mom's lies, she took her to see Dr. Phil. As it turns out, Patricia is a real Fruit Loop, stating that she had 17 strokes, lost 100 pounds in a single week, and apparently held a world record for weightlifting. Clearly something isn't right here. While mental illness is nothing to be joked about, Patricia lost a lot of sympathy from viewers when it was revealed that she purposely took money from fundraising events for her made-up illness and also neglected her animals. Her dog lived in filth and risked losing his eye due to an untreated eye infection that had never been taken care of. Clearly, the woman needed some help with her pathological lying. Phil presented Patricia with her own medical records and took her down a peg or two. Number 5. Cracked Out Carrie. Substance abuse issues are a common theme on Dr. Phil. We've seen scores of addicts come through those stage doors, including big names. Carrie used to be the model mom, even holding a place on the PTA. Unfortunately, her life took a wrong turn after some medical issues, and she became hooked on prescription drugs. Her dependence on substances ruined her life and made her homeless. Carrie wanted to get clean but couldn't see a way out of it. Her downward spiral cost her her marriage to her husband Christopher, who also filed a restraining order to keep her away from their teenage daughter. He was right to do so, as Carrie openly admitted on the show that she used to drive to her school while under the influence, and even used drugs in the school bathroom at sporting events. While Carrie tried to blame her dependence on pills on the failure of doctors, Phil wasn't having any of it, and accused her of playing the victim. Number 4. Wicked Mother-in-Law. Mother-in-laws seem to get the rough end of the stick a lot of the time. We've all heard the jokes. Most of the time, they don't really deserve the bad rep. But this one certainly does. One frustrated son took his wife and mom along to Dr. Phil to try to get to the root of all their family issues, namely, that his mom hated his wife. Why? No one really knows. Donna posted unflattering pictures of her daughter-in-law on social media and called her nasty names. But when Dr. Phil asked her about it, she said she couldn't remember doing it. The doc presented an email that Donna had sent in when she used the word hate 14 times. Despite trying to get to the root of her attitude towards her daughter-in-law, Phil was baffled, and so were the audience. Her son told of the instances where Donna would leave threatening texts, voicemails, and emails to the point where he had to tell her to stop contacting them. Throughout all of it, Donna felt that she was justified, calling her son's wife spoiled. If all of this wasn't enough, this loving mom even tried to sabotage her son's business by saying he did shoddy work on his own business page. What a mess! Number 3. Worst mom in history. What happens when a mom acts more like a child than a parent? Disaster. That's what. No child should have the responsibility of having to worry about their own mother. But that's exactly what happened to Elora. Mom Vicky had both Elora and her son Valen committed several times when they were children, and placed her daughter into foster care when she was 15 years old. She claimed it was for their own good, but they felt that she just didn't love them. When Vicky started to treat both her 8-year-old brother and niece in a similar fashion, Elora called the show to try and put a stop to her mom's behavior. According to her, she called the kids names like jackass and stupid and was running a completely chaotic household. When Dr. Phil stormed in, Vicky tried to defend her actions by saying that her psychological training meant that she didn't just do things willy-nilly. Phil responded by asking how she could work in the mental health sector and not know that the foster system was very badly broken. Good one, Phil. Number 2. Slumming it. Being a parent comes with a lot of responsibilities, like making sure your kids are fed and watered. It is also imperative to keep the house clean so your kids don't live in filth. No one said it was easy, but basic hygiene is pretty much an expected standard. Maddie took her mom to the show after her and her brother ran out of options. Jenny has 5 children, and Maddie and Ryan claimed it was left to them to look after their siblings and try and get them to clean. Their mom countered with her own accusations, saying that they are both physically and verbally abusive. But the doc wouldn't let her untidy habits slip by unnoticed. He pulled up pictures of the house on screen, showing Maddie's beautiful room compared to her mom's pit of squalor. Phil demanded a reason for her mess, but Jenny could only say, "I'm a pig." Jenny then explained her battle with depression, calling herself a trashy mother and a trashy person. Number 1. PTSD parenting. Some parents should have to take a test before they have children, and this couple would be the first in line. Dr. Phil went in on these two after it became apparent that their parenting style had really damaged their now 26-year-old daughter. Instead of doing all the right things like encouraging her to get a great education, discouraging drugs and alcohol, and giving her some rules, they did the exact opposite, even choosing to party with her on some occasions. At one point, her father even gave his daughter ecstasy to sell. Can you imagine your mom or dad doing that? Good old Pops even moved his mistress in and carried on multiple affairs under the same roof. Mom Lauren wasn't taking any of her daughter's accusations though, countering that she did everything she could to get her to finish school, including getting her an apartment across the street in the hope it might help her attendance. Thank you very much for watching today's video. Make sure to subscribe to our channel for more amazing content, and don't forget to check out one of the other two videos on your screen.